Being chopped is up there with being broke, having no hoes, being unemployed, being black. Being chopped can be the single worst trait to ever inherit. If a wizard cursed me with either being chopped for eternity or being broke for eternity, I'm not picking broke. But being chopped is still horrible, bro. There's ways to escape the chopsicity. But when you're young, bro, you pretty much have no choice but to just be the honorary chopped one. It's hard to be choptimistic when you're dealt with these horrible cards, you know what I'm saying? Type of cards that Gambit chucks at you and they explode. Being a chopped one in the friend group back in school used to be the hardest shit too, bro. Anytime you talk to a girl, bro, most times they're only talking to you probably just to get closer to your homeboy. I'm gonna keep it a whole stack with you, bro. Shit used to have me sitting on the edge of the bed like Peter Parker did, bro. Shit, honestly, being chopped affects you in ways where you don't even expect it. People out here will whole reject you from a pickup game just because you're chopped.
Not here, nigga.
What the hell does my choppedness have to do with my vertical, bro? Teachers might just start randomly flaming you. I had this like southern white teacher who used to call me Chinese, and like I didn't really give a fuck, right? You know, shout out to Chinese people. I thought it was a W. Shit got worse, bro, when I would just sit next to any random girl and bro would be like, nah, you can't do that, bro. You can't handle that one. And it was like, on one hand, I was like, damn, bro, I guess thank you for the reality check. But at the same time, aren't you like 40, bro? I don't know. It's a little weird that you're saying that, you know, all things considered. You got a wife, kids, bro, and here you are. I think I might have to alert the local authorities. Bro, one thing you have to always watch out for is the random flames, right? The random flames can come from any and everywhere, bro. I remember the day that I got my first pair of ones, bro. Felt like the greatest day of my life. I thought I was finally fly. So I walk up to my boy, right? Because I'm thinking like, all right, bro, he's gonna call me fly. All right, I'm about to get that external validation. I walk up to bro and he's like, hey, bro, look at your ugly ass getting fly.
You tripping, bro. You tripping.
Right in front of a bunch of girls too, bro. Being chopped will just have you sitting over wildlife like you're Thanos at the farm and shit, bro. It affects your everyday life in multiple different categories. But one major way that shit affects you, bro, is in the dating market. Dating while being chopped is like being an Olympic athlete with like one leg. It's possible, gang, but I'm gonna be honest with you, it definitely slows down the process. I would say there's like 3 golden rules to being chopped in the dating scene, all right? Rule number 1, never get too comfortable, dog. Remember, there's always an individual who looks like this, who's willing and ready to shorty snatch you simply because he knows he can. Dating is like a pyramid hierarchy game, right? And if a pharaoh level dude wants your girlfriend and you're but a measly peasant with like these type of shoes, buddy, it's safe to say you're cooked. Remember, the only competition he has now is your ugly ass. And I'm not gonna lie, if you're chopped in his prime, he might not have to try that hard. He doesn't even have to be like insanely beautiful, bro. He just has to look better than you. And if you look anything like I did when I was in school, then man, I'm sorry, buddy. I pray you have a fast recovery. Rule number 1 is always the most golden rule, bro. That one will keep you safe in any situation. But I do have a rule number 2, one that could possibly lead you guys to the promised land if you follow it directly, okay? But you gotta follow all the directions, front to back. Rule number 2, you gotta convince them somehow you're not as chopped as they once believed you to be. This is a simple trick that I used to perform back in my prime when I was out here moving like Steph. All I would do is act like I didn't need them, all right? My thought process was if I acted like I was chopped, then they would only realize that I was, all right? It would become that much more apparent how bad my choptimization settings were, all right? Even though I looked like E.T. with Jordans on, at least I had the J's. I guess I just convinced enough girls I wasn't unholy levels of chopped through like simple manifestation, right? Just believing I wasn't chopped, and hopefully if I believed hard enough, one day I would wake up and look in the mirror and I wouldn't be chopped anymore. You could get like plastic surgery, but then it's like you just gonna be the dude who got plastic surgery, and then what if it comes out trash? Now you're double chopped. Count Chopula. I feel like in the adult world you could pretty much fly under the radar being chopped. I mean, you might not get many opportunities or anything, but there was nothing worse than being chopped in school, bro. And a lot of y'all that are in school and currently chopped, I'm sorry, bro. My heart goes out to you. I've been there before, bro. It's not for the weak. Dodgeball, you're getting picked last, bro, to be on a team. I'm sorry to tell you, just for being chopped. It doesn't matter the skill you have. It doesn't matter how good you can throw a ball. Pause. It's over for you, okay? Just simply because you're chopped, you're gonna get picked last. A good way to tell if you're chopped, if you give a girl a compliment like over text or some shit in school and she hits you with aw, that's just like a gun to your stomach. Remember when Jason Todd hit the on Batman like that? Elite ball knowledge. If y'all know about Arkham, bro, elite ball knowledge. If you don't know about it, you got elite knowledge of another nigga's balls. I don't make the rules. My school chopped years were honestly some of the worst years in my entire history. If anybody ever makes a documentary, it's like Titanic, but if the beginning was the end. Not only was I chopped cheese, but I also was short as hell, bro. It was a deadly combo. I wasn't even one of the short dudes that was like handsome so I could make up for being short. Nah. The 2K overall I was working with, bro, was maybe like a 53 3 at best, at max, all right? I was out here balling like Anthony Bennett, bro. And that's just in the looks department, bro. You guys remember the haunted houses in school and shit, bro? I used to do those shits, bro. Crawl through them, have fun and shit. Except the monsters were scared of me. Sometimes I see clips of Dabo, and I feel bad, bro. It's like, damn, I remember those days, bro. And I say that knowing damn well shorty still don't look my way, but it was even worse back then, all right? Maybe now they'll just not look my way. Back in the day, they used to say, don't take my purse, please. Spray me with mace and shit. I used to cry on the fucking floor. That's how it was, bro. That's how it was for a young OG back in the day. A nigga was getting no play. It was as if my older brother had unplugged my controller and shit, and I was just playing with the turned off controller. That's how life felt back in the day. Just getting no play and shit, getting no hugs. I was huzzless, all right? Drake over here talking about give me a hug, bro. I couldn't even get in the proximity of a hug. Like, bro, you don't know being chopped until you sit next to a girl in class and she requests to be moved. Sit next to a girl on the bus, all of a sudden she sees her friend and she gets up and goes. That's the type of shit you deal with, bro. I kid you not, bro. I wouldn't cap to y'all, bro. Y'all like my little children that I birthed out of my balls, bro. If I'm president, bro, all chopped individuals are getting $1 million in reparations just for the shit they had to go through in school. I'm glad that even though I have my chopped era and I was in my chop phase and shit, that I never ever became like incelish. I was never posting no we in a society shit. I was lucky enough to be dumb. Like, even though I was chopped, I didn't know I was chopped. I was like, yeah, a nigga fly. These hoes just don't know, bro. If they knew the sauce, if they knew the method, it wouldn't be an issue, bro. It wouldn't be a problem. I didn't know that at the time. Like, when I look back at pictures of myself from back in the day, it's almost like Drake without the beard, bro. You just like, how did you exist in normal society? Like, I wouldn't come to y'all with a problem without a solution, you know what I'm saying? And I got the solution, all right? See, I learned the method back in the day when I was a young chopped individual, right? And this method is 100% foolproof, bro. When you a young bull, bro, when you a jit, and you chopped. If all else fails and literally nothing will work for you, then I have one solution that could possibly work, bro. You gotta fuck with BBWs.
What?
I fuck with BBWs, nigga.
Now, investing in the big girls is indeed a method that's acceptable. I accept it at least, all right? Behind every big girl is a beautiful woman, bro. All you gotta do is invest, especially if they're in the gym, all right? They're already there, so it's only a matter of time before that shit drops anyways. However, I don't come to y'all with false information, all right? They might cast Chico out. They might call him crazy. They might call me a madman. They can never say I was wrong. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, my boy. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But nah, bro, on the real, bro, being chopped was crazy. Bitches are gonna curve you. Your life's gonna suck. I'm not gonna lie. But like I said, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And that light might be scared by the size, but the BB dubs are the light at the end of the tunnel, bro. In the end of the times, bro, when the world's gonna end and everything's gonna be destroyed, they're gonna say one thing. Aliens are gonna come to Earth. They're gonna be like, there was one philosopher who knew his shit. You could always trust to have elite ball knowledge, bruh, and that's Chico. I'ma go down as a philosopher, whether y'all accept it or not, bro. One day, y'all are gonna see. I'm a modern day philosopher, all right? As you see, gang, we about 30 followers away from that booty reveal, right? So, make sure y'all follow up, right? TikTok and shit coming soon, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Maybe not on the TikTok, that might be a little homosexual, but I'll catch y'all on the next one.
I fuck with BBWs, nigga.
I fuck with BBWs, nigga. I fuck with BBWs, nigga.
I fuck with BBWs, nigga.